built their home on Tatooine. For this, I grabbed my tan pieces and started building the base of the house. I also added some holes for the windows along with the second floor and the roof, which I made with a bunch of different tan tiles. And I also used this round dome piece, which is iconic to LEGO Star Wars. To top it off, I added some metal pipes, a radio dish, and some other equipment we can see in the Star Wars universe. There's also this small balcony on the roof where the family can sit and look at the two moons in the sky. Now we can start working on the interior of the build. First, I made the living room with a couch where Jackson learns to take his first steps. There's also a crib where he can sleep and look at the cute baby mobile. I made a dining table because Jackson is hungry, so I added a kitchen with some blue milk and some other alien-like food. There's also a shelf and a futuristic coffee maker. Now we can work on the upper floor. For his parents' bedroom, I made a king-size bed where they can sleep. For Jackson's bedroom, I made a bed which is partly made of sand, along with this shelf with a box and an Imperial Stormtrooper helmet. So now it's time to go to school, and that's what we're building next. I tried to stick to the Tatooine theme and made the school in tan. There are a few tables where you can find Jackson's classmates. The bell rings, so that means it's time to learn about the galaxy, and this class has a teacher called Baba Jabba. He's very strict, and he gives you an F if you have more than one mistake on your tests. So unfortunately, he became sick after receiving a cookie from Jackson, and now they get a substitute teacher. And luckily for the entire class, he puts on an educational movie. One day, as Jackson is relaxing outside with his parents, they get robbed by raiders who want to make them slaves and sell them to Jabba the Hutt. All hope is lost, but luckily they get saved and Jackson sees a hero in white armor. Now he wants to be a stormtrooper himself and maintain peace and order in the galaxy. Jackson wants to sign up for the Imperial Academy, so next I started building the training facility. For this, I built the entrance with 2 sliding doors and a keypad where you can enter the base. Then I made a second floor with some blue window panels so Imperial stormtroopers can see who wants to enter the base. You can't enter. Next I grabbed big ugly rock pieces, also known as burps, and I made a giant mountain wall. However, burp pieces don't look all that good, so I started adding a bunch of slopes, and this took hours. Actually, it took days. But finally, after an eternity, the rock work is done, and it makes the base look so much more realistic. Jackson goes inside the base, and here we can find a room system. On the first floor, there's a giant hallway with a floor which I made with tiles. And I also added these barrels so it looks like a loading bay. Jackson can't believe he's in an Imperial base, and first he must grab his stormtrooper outfit. So for this, I made a room with some blaster racks, and this way the stormtroopers can defend the base against invading rebels. I also added some torso and leg armor along with a couple of helmets. Jackson put on his outfit, and now he can join the assembly in the main hall, and next he will be assigned to his room. So for this, I made a room with some of these bunk beds where the stormtroopers can sleep. Jackson will sleep here every night. The next morning, Jackson wakes up early and he's so tired. He enters the next room where we will build a bathroom. So I added some sinks so the stormtroopers can wash their face. In the right corner of the room, I made 2 of these shower areas with these brick-built shower heads. Jackson can finally relax and take a warm shower. Jackson is joining the Junior Imperial Academy. For this, I built a classroom with a hologram shelf as well as a strict teacher, and now the class can begin. The teaching board is this screen which I made with a sticker from the Death Star set, and the stormtroopers need to learn about the Death Star and all of the planets in the galaxy. And now it's lunchtime, so we're building the cantina next. For this, I added a few round tables, and Jackson is quite nervous because he hasn't made any friends so far. He decides to sit with 2 boys, Miles and Nico. They go to get food, and today the stormtrooper cook made some high-protein meals, so everyone can get some gains in the gym. They all get space chicken and enjoy their meal together. Jackson and the guys made an absolute mess, and now they must clean the bathroom. For this, I built toilets and added these stalls so you can have some privacy. I also added a sink, and now the boys can start cleaning. After their meal, the stormtroopers will go to basic training and need to lift some weights in the gym, because they gotta build some muscle and bulk up. Their coach will mold them into warriors with a heavy training. So I added this treadmill and I have to start running 10 miles. Then everyone has to do 100 push-ups in one go. The troopers also have to do exercises like bench press, so I made a bench with a bar and now they can get a PR. Yeah, buddy! Since pull-ups are a mandatory part of many military trainings, I had to include some pull-up bars, for which I used these parts upside down, and now the cadets can get some reps in. I added some benches along with a wall full of dumbbells, so the cadets can maximize their strength. And in the room next to the gym, we're building a pool. And then I filled the pool with a glass of water. Jackson and his friends play in the pool and enjoy their small break. And next up, they will undergo blaster training. For this, I made a firing range with a couple of boxes and 3 rebel soldiers as targets. Next up, I want to make some sort of training simulation, which you can see in the Star Wars universe. For this, I added 2 giant plates with tiles to make the pattern we see in these type of rooms. I added some obstacles, such as boxes, to find cover during a battle simulation. Then, there are also platforms where the stormtroopers can learn how to become as flexible as a ninja. After a long day of training, all the cadets need some time off. So, I built a basketball court and added 2 hoops, and now the game can begin. In the room to the left, I made a lounge area with a pool table and a couch to relax with some comrades. And there's also a bar for adult stormtroopers to enjoy some booze. Jackson relaxes and can't wait for the rest of all the training. Over the years, Jackson learns everything there is to know about being a stormtrooper. He even graduates Senior Imperial Academy. Now he can finally serve the Empire in the field. For his first mission, he gets sent to Scarif. For this, I made a bunker from Rogue One, along with an opening door and a console in the middle, with some bushes and palm trees around it. Here, Jackson and his friends need to patrol to make sure the entrance and transport is secure. One day, as they are patrolling, Jackson hears a sound. He checks behind the bush, but then suddenly a bomb goes off and they get ambushed by rebel troopers. He signals the high staff and they send reinforcements. The stormtroopers storm in along with my favorite troopers, the shore troopers from Rogue One, and they eliminate all the rebel troops. Jackson quickly hops in a TIE fighter and flies to the Star Destroyer. And then the Death Star fires at Scarif. Next, Jackson gets assigned to Vader's squad to infiltrate the Tantive 4. For this, I grabbed the official Tantive 4 hallway set and built it. Now we can set up some of the rebels in the hallway. The stormtroopers blow the door and run in. One of Jackson's buddies gets blasted, but luckily Lord Vader runs in and kills some rebels. They capture Princess Leia, and a while later, Jackson is putting on his snowtrooper outfit. For this, I made a snowy landscape with a bunch of white plates and added tiles to make it look smooth. Then I made this trench for the rebels with some turrets and boxes so the rebels can hand out rations and blasters. On the Imperial side, I built a whole snowtrooper army, and even added some hot scout troopers and speeders. And with that, the battle is won. Okay, so Jackson is sent back to his original training facility to recover from all the battles. And he still loves the Empire. They maintain order and peace in the galaxy. And there's actually an exception where he's allowed to visit home and see parents, so he goes to see his parents and they've become quite old. Both his parents are proud of Jackson and they have a nice meal together. He visits his old room and remembers all of the good memories of playing here as a kid. And then he hears kids playing outside in peace. He's happy he can keep them safe now as an Imperial Stormtrooper. After the fun weekend with his parents, Jackson returns to the base and he hears he will be sent to Endor. His mission is to deal with some rebel scum in the plan to destroy the rebellion once and for all. For Endor, I will be building a bunker, so I grabbed a bunch of parts and built a bunker based on the original set. Then I added 3 trees along with a lot of plants, and now Jackson arrives on Endor with his old class. On the inside of the bunker, I added some materials as well as this console with 2 Imperial crew members. They talk about the plan and suddenly they hear a blaster outside. They go to check and see a stormtrooper laying in the woods. Jackson checks the trooper and suddenly they get ambushed by Ewoks and rebels. The stormtroopers get blasted and retreat. Then suddenly he hears a big bang and sees the Death Star has exploded. With that, the Empire is gone and the rebels have won. All stormtroopers try to escape and Jackson vows that one day he will bring back order and peace to the galaxy.